This lesson is taken straight from my Digitakt II Mastery Course. If you want to dive deeper and get the full training, check the link below. You can also sign up for an exclusive discount, and when you do, I'll send you more details about the course and how it can level up your music. So now we're going to dive into mute mode. So mutes I use all the time when creating patterns and also especially when playing live. So what mute mode does is exactly what it sounds like, which is to mute tracks. So you can access quick mutes like this. If you hold down function, you can then turn off the tracks like this, or the mutes. So you can still see they're playing underneath. And we can bring them back in like that. That's one way of doing it. The way that I normally do it is that I enter mute mode, which is function, and track to access its secondary function, which is mute mode. You can see that we've got green lights again, but they're much brighter. Once we're in this mode, it's enabled, and then we can just switch stuff off really quickly like this. So it's great for live performance, which is a big reason why I don't use track sliders anymore. I used to do that with my Ableton live sets, but now I just use mute modes. It just turns the track off really quickly. And you can take the kick out, bang it back in, bring some extra elements in. The other cool thing about the new mute mode on the Digitakt II is that you can actually prepare mutes as well, which is really, really cool when performing live and you've got other equipment like I have around the Digitakt II. What it means is, if I'm playing a track like this, I can hold function and I can tell the Digitakt which tracks I want it to mute. So I've told it to mute 1 and 6. I'll keep hold of this while I'm doing other stuff with my right hand. When I'm ready to drop into the next section, I just release function and it does that. So I can mute some of these, maybe just keep that one in, hold function again, tell it which ones I want to switch on once I release. I've just realised my metronome, so I'm going to turn it off in a minute. Let's go in and turn it off, it's very annoying. Speed it up a little bit as well. So yeah, turn the metronome off now. So that's the first mute mode. This is global mute. It's a top level mute. If you turn the mutes off like that and then save your project, that state will be saved. And then underneath that, we have the pattern mutes, which are really cool. So what pattern mutes are, these are underneath global mutes, and they are specific to the pattern itself. If I mute all these now and then change pattern to free, you can see the purple mutes on this pattern are all on, but on pattern 2, they are all off. And that's because you can save the mute state to the pattern. And I'll explain why this is useful in a second. So what I'm going to do is just put them all back on, and I'm going to copy this pattern and I'm going to paste it on 9, and then I'm going to paste another one on 10, another one on 11, and another one on 12. This is the way that I used to use pattern mutes quite a lot. Normally now though, because of the way I've set up my hybrid set, I'm using one pattern for the whole song now, because I've got so much other stuff going on with MIDI controls and scenes that I can literally work one pattern to make a full song out of it. Sometimes I might jump over to another pattern. But what I used to do was something like this. So I'd use it as an arrangement tool. So you could start off like that, and then you could go to 10. And then, let me just go back. Yeah, so on 10, we can bring that one in. On 11, we'll bring in the hats. And then pattern 12, take them all out. Now you're probably wondering, why didn't you just do that with trigs, like disabling trigs? Well, the reason is, what you can do is you can save them. So save the states on the pattern by going in there and going to pattern and saving them to the project. And then when you recall the projects for a live set, they will remain as they are. And if you work in the purple states, what you can do is when you come to say like 12 and it's a build up, you might not want to just add reverb and then drop straight into 9 like this. What you might want to do is you might want to let that run for a bit, add some reverb and stuff, and then you might want to bring in the hats. And then you might want to bring in the snare. And then when you're ready to drop, then you can go to say 11, drop it all in. So what it does is it gives you a starting point for the mutes. Whereas the global mutes, let's just go back to pattern 2. We'll go to the global mutes. These are global, so if I change pattern, that remains consistent, which isn't bad because that's kind of the way that I work now. What I'll do is I'll build it up like this. So let's say I'm sort of playing, what I'll do is I'll take everything out for the build up, then I'll bring the hats in, then I'll bring the snare in. But the purple mutes are basically good if you've got some complex things that you want to do in a live set. It's very useful. Also, another thing to note as well is if you have the global mutes disabled and then you're in the purple mutes, when you're in this situation, it looks like they're on, but they're not playing. So what you want to do is come back out, make sure your global mutes are all on before you go into your purple mutes. So that's just one lesson. There's loads more waiting inside the full Digitakt II course. If you want to see what's included and grab a discount, sign up with your email below and I'll send you all the details. So I'll see you in the next video.